everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm so grateful. In today's video, I want to discuss how you can get your ex back and the exact steps you need to follow to ensure they're showing up a certain way in your reality. So, first, I want to discuss a bit about why the person, your partner, left in the first place. Why did the breakup happen in the first place? Now, this might not be everyone's situation, but hear it out and try to understand if this has been your situation. Now, your inner beliefs, the beliefs that are dominant within you, the internal deep rooted beliefs, will always reflect on your relationships, okay? The people you're involved with, especially your partner. So, it's possible that at some point in time, due to some conversations, something you heard, something you saw, you had this fear of being left. You had this fear of being abandoned. Or it could be that this fear has been within you even before this specific person was in your life, because of your past experiences, your past relationships, your past family situations. So it could be any of the two things. Now, if that fear has started coming up, now it starts in a really subtle way, okay? It's not that it comes up in an extreme manner. It starts in a subtle way where you might have had a thought about that, which evoked this feeling of being abandoned or rejected or left. And the more you focus on that feeling, it becomes intense for you, okay? It becomes stronger for you. The more you dwell into it, it starts becoming true for you, okay? The more you dwell on something, it starts becoming dominant. And in this case, you're actually putting in your feelings and emotions into it. Whenever it comes to a specific person, things that start with a thought, a doubt, there are always tons of feelings and emotions in that, which makes your beliefs really, really powerful. Whenever feelings come into the place, your beliefs will become really powerful. The story you're telling yourself will become really powerful. So you focusing on it, you dwelling on that feeling, you feeling it dominantly within you will create it outside. It becomes your dominant belief and it will eventually reflect on your specific person and they will show up that way. You basically created an expectation, an assumption, and you persisted in it long enough in that fear, in that doubt, in that inner dialogue, and it eventually became a belief and it showed up outside. By saying it became your dominant belief, it means you identified with that version of you who will be left, abandoned, or rejected more than that version of you that feels chosen, that feels shown up for, and that feels really loved, cared for, and respected. So, if that is your situation, that is probably why all of this happened in the first place. And you don't have to feel bad about it. We all have these kind of fears and doubts around relationships, especially if we have had negative past experiences. We can completely work through it. It's completely normal. You can always work through all the fears and doubts and triggers you have in your life, whether it's related to a relationship, a specific person, or any other area of your life. So don't give yourself a hard time about it, okay? Be compassionate with yourself while you're trying to transform these beliefs within you, which are related to some deep rooted triggers and trauma. Now, how can you get your specific person back? As I mentioned, that this happened in the first place because you identified with a version of yourself that would be left, rejected, and abandoned, or you identified with a version of your specific person that could leave you, that has a lot of options, that always invites other people in. So you have to start identifying with a different version of yourself if that was the case for you, or a different version of your specific person if that was the case for you. Start identifying with being chosen, being shown up for. That directly comes back to your self concept, okay? Your self concept is really, really important and a key factor to ensure that desirable changes are showing up in your reality and sustaining for a long time. You can't be in that felt experience of being broken up with, rejected, left, if you want to call them back in, if you want to completely recreate the situation of a breakup. And what happens is, after the breakup is done, after you have parted ways, after you have ended something, it's really easy and natural as a human to dwell on that, dwell on everything negative about that experience. Okay, after a breakup, if it was not done mutually, hardly people go back to the good memories. Okay, people always go back to the bad memories, especially what happened towards the end. Okay, how they behave towards the end, the things they said towards the end, that is what you keep looping in, in your mind again and again, day after day. And you're trying to seek all these answers, you're trying to seek all this closure, you're trying to do all these things in the physical reality, to manipulate them into talking to you, to manipulate them into coming back into your life. And these things would eventually exhaust you. These are not the things where you would find peace. These are not the things that will make you feel relaxed. These are the things that will increase your anxiety and always keep your mind in that fight or flight mode, where you're always struggling to figure out, what should I do next? What should I say next? What can I do next? That is not the state of being from which you can recreate this situation, or you can call back your specific person. Because here your energy is that you lack this big thing, your specific person, you lack being loved, you lack this kind of experience and relationship in your life. And that is not the state of being from which we want to recreate this reality. Okay, you want to recreate it from a state of being neutral. If you can't be full of joy, happiness, which no one is, okay, so don't feel bad about that, no one is in that state all the time, but you need to be neutral. Okay, you need to be in a state of internal peace, okay with this present moment, okay with this current situation. And then when you're stable in that state of being, you choose what you want to recreate, you choose what your new story is, you choose what your new situation is. So if you're still in that felt experience of, I have been broken up with, I have been rejected, I have been left, you need to really start identifying with a different version of you that knows I'm chosen, that knows that my specific person will always show up for me, that knows she is cherished or he is cherished, that knows I am taken care of, I'm loved, I'm adored. Now try the small exercise to understand where your dominant focus is. Okay, this is not something you have to sit and do, but notice yourself, give yourself 7 days, okay, 1 week. Notice yourself, where is your dominant focus? Are you still identifying with that version who has been left, rejected, or broken up with? What can that look like? That can look like you keep going back and seeing their last text messages. You keep repeating those conversations within you, their last few sentences that they told you. You keep repeating that scene within you where they are breaking up with you. You keep replaying all those experiences that you actually don't want being shown up in your reality. That is you dwelling in it. That is you completely focusing on it. That is you making that completely dominant in you. In simple words, dominant is whatever has your most focus. Okay, if your entire focus is on the breakup story, that's your dominant story. Shift that story by putting your dominant majority of your focus on the new story. So you need to change your story. You need to identify with a new version of you and your specific person. Both of these things come under this category of changing your story. And you can make your way into it. Okay, if it's really difficult to directly come into that understanding or knowing that we are already back together, okay, you don't have to jump so far ahead. Make your way into it. As I said, be compassionate with yourself. Even with your techniques, I always say the same thing. Ensure that you're feeling good while doing the techniques. Just because something has worked for someone, affirmations have worked for someone, don't just blindly copy and start affirming and exhausting yourself. Okay, what works for you? You need to feel good throughout this process. That's the whole point of doing this. It needs to be light, breezy, happy, and pleasant, not something that is exhausting you even further. The biggest cue that you are not consciously creating the right way is when you feel exhausted. You should not be bringing yourself into that position where you're feeling exhausted by it. There needs to be some time put in, some discipline, pure focus, and remaining day light and pleasant expectation of it coming to you. Not putting everything in your life on hold, Just because your complete attention focus should be here and should be on techniques, that is not the way you consciously create your reality. You're just making everything worse for you. You're exhausting yourself, and eventually you come to this conclusion that this does not work. This does not work at all. But are you doing it the correct way? Are you doing it, in a really light, pleasant way, or are you exhausting yourself? Don't do that to yourself, okay? Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself some time. If you take your attention off the time, then all of this resistance that you're trying to put in because you have this urgency, desperation, that everything should happen fast and everything should happen within a few days, if that is from where you practice this, then it will exhaust you. Don't do it that way, okay? Give your mind, your body some relaxation, okay? Work through this process. So start small, okay? Be compassionate with yourself. Start small and slowly build up your belief, okay? Use these words specifically. See if it helps you. Where you are imagining, okay, in your inner world, they're wondering if they should message me, okay? They're wanting to talk to me. They're wanting to come back. They're wondering if they still have those strong feelings for me. They're thinking about me, okay? All these are kind of giving you that feeling of possibility, like this might be happening, okay? They might be thinking this, they might be wanting this, they might be wondering about our good times, okay? So start that way. Start small, build your way into it. Belief will not come 100% at the beginning, okay? You build up belief. It's a training, it's a practice you need to put in again and again, okay? And it will increase. They do want to be with me. They are thinking about me. They are wanting to message me, okay? Start over there, and once that's truly starts becoming, real for you, within you, then you can go to some bigger things like we are together. They do message me all the time. They do show up for me all the time. They do care about me. They do have these big gestures for me all the time. So work your way through it. This is how you will get your ex back, by changing your story about the whole situation, okay? Change how you're seeing them, how you want them showing up. Change how you think about yourself. Who are you? Are you that person who would be shown up for? Are you that person who is left and rejected, or that person who is loved and taken care of? And once you start reliving that story again and again and make it true for yourself, okay, over and over again, you keep revisiting that experience within you, and you stop with this other story. Actually, the more you focus on this story of yours, this other story of the past resentment, arguments, breakup will dissolve away. Why will it dissolve away? Because your focus will be in one place. If your focus is on this story, that they are coming around, you are together, your focus will not be on that story where they're not with you, where they're not coming around. So shift your focus to a new favorable story, okay? Persist in that story. Keep revisiting that experience again and again within you, and you will see things moving around in your reality very soon. Okay, so that's all I wanted to discuss in that video. I really hope it added some value to your manifestation process. In case you have any kinds of question around this, you can leave it in the comment section below. I also have all my social media handles linked below. My Instagram, Threads for a regular dose of motivation. I recently created a TikTok account, so if you want to see some really short videos, you can also follow me over there. Also, my second YouTube channel, which is around self-development and mindset, not really from a manifestation perspective, but in general. So if that interests you, you can subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a great week.